Welcome to this explainer. Have you ever wondered if a line of code can actually have a conscience? Today, we're embarking on a pretty fascinating journey. We're going to connect the cold mathematical mechanics of artificial intelligence with something entirely unexpected, the ancient philosophy of human virtue. Basically, we're diving into how the brain of a machine intersects with the soul of humanity. Here's our roadmap for today. We'll quickly cover the mechanics of AI, then the AI project cycle, ancient philosophy meets AI, principles of AI ethics, human rights in AI, and finally, achieving human flourishing. All right, Section 1, the mechanics of AI. Let's get right into the nuts and bolts. At its absolute foundation, AI honestly isn't magic, even if it sometimes feels like it. It relies heavily on complex statistical methods. Take regression analysis, for example. It helps predict outcomes based on input variables, kind of like guessing the price of a house based on its square footage and the number of bedrooms. Then you have Bayesian statistics, estimating the probability of an event based on new evidence as it rolls in. It's really all about detecting patterns from massive amounts of data. Now, there's been a massive shift in how we actually build these machines. Think of the traditional rule-based approach, like giving a computer a super strict recipe to bake a cake. It can only do exactly what it's programmed to do. But modern AI, it uses a learning-based approach. Instead of giving it a recipe, we feed the machine literally millions of pictures of cakes, and through complex neural networks, it figures out the recipe completely autonomously. It learns to identify the patterns all on its own. Moving right along to Section 2, the AI project cycle. Bringing these learning models into the real world requires a strict 5-stage rhythm. 1. Problem scoping. 2. Data acquisition. 3. Data exploration. 4. Modeling. And 5. Evaluation. It takes developers from that initial spark of recognizing a problem all the way to evaluating the final model's efficiency. That crucial starting point, problem scoping, is where developers use what's called the 4Ws canvas. They have to ask, who is actually affected by this? What is the exact nature of the problem? Where is the context? And why does this solution even matter? This is absolutely critical because an AI without a clear human-centric purpose is, well, just a very expensive calculator. But here's where things get a bit tricky. To predict outputs accurately, you have to train the machine. And for that to work, the training data must be highly relevant and thoroughly authentic. If you feed an AI 10 years of hiring data where only men were promoted, it's going to learn to systematically reject female applicants. Basically, if you feed it biased data, you're guaranteed to get biased predictions. Section 3, Ancient Philosophy Meets AI. We're about to pivot smoothly from computer science straight back to ancient Greece. Think about traditional technology for a second, like a toaster. We judge it purely on efficiency. Does it toast the bread? Great. But AI fundamentally shapes human society. A flawed AI could unjustly deny you a mortgage or misidentify you in a criminal case. Because it makes these huge, life-altering decisions, it forces us to evaluate its societal acceptability, along with some really deep moral and political implications. Which leads us to a profound realization. To figure out how to build a good AI, we actually have to start with the exact same question that Socrates, Plato, and Aristotle wrestled with thousands of years ago. What exactly is a good person? Aristotle's answer was eudaimonia. Now, this isn't just fleeting everyday happiness. It's the deep, objective satisfaction of living a meaningful life, a state of true human flourishing, well-being, and blessedness. And how do you achieve that? By actively exercising reason and consistently practicing virtuous habits. You can actually map this out almost like philosophical data. Aristotle defined virtue as the golden mean, finding that perfect, optimal balance between the extremes of deficiency and excess. Take courage, for example. It's the golden mean, sitting right between the vice of cowardice on one end and the vice of rashness on the other. True virtue is always a perfectly calibrated response. Section 4, Principles of AI Ethics. So how do we code this ancient concept of virtue into our algorithms? Paralleling those 5 steps of the technical project cycle we talked about earlier, the global community has converged on 5 core principles of AI ethics: non-maleficence, accountability, transparency, fairness, and respect for human rights. These are the guardrails designed to ensure algorithms do good and prevent harm. But having rules on paper just isn't enough, is it?
Successfully applying these principles requires what the Greeks called phronesis, or practical wisdom. It's this acquired sensitivity that helps developers perceive the right moral action in constantly changing, messy real-world scenarios. It's the difference between a self-driving car blindly following a speed limit and one knowing it should temporarily cross a double yellow line to safely avoid an accident.
Section 5. Human Rights and AI. Let's look at how this practical wisdom translates into real-world governance. As this powerful quote from our sources highlights, we don't need to reinvent the wheel. Because AI touches everything from privacy to non-discrimination, our policy approaches must be firmly rooted in established international human rights laws. We need to lean on the powerful legal and ethical tools we already have in place. By combining human rights with technology, we get these 5 vital steps for human rights-based AI governance. Ground it in international law, take a risk-based approach, ensure inclusive design from day one, demand transparency, and finally, holds developers fully accountable for any harm their systems might cause. Taking that risk-based approach means we have to draw some hard lines in the sand. We absolutely must prohibit AI systems that pose unacceptable threats to human dignity. We're talking about dystopian stuff here, biometric mass surveillance, social scoring systems, or algorithms that amplify discrimination against marginalized groups. Some things just shouldn't be built, period.
Section 6. Achieving human flourishing. Let's bring this whole shebang together.
This is the ultimate goal, bridging the gap. By enforcing transparent governance and inclusive design, we combine the mathematical precision of AI with the practical wisdom, the phronesis of human ethics. When we get this right, we aren't just making smarter calculators. We're ensuring AI becomes a tool that safeguards rights and actually promotes genuine human flourishing. But I want to leave you with this somewhat provocative thought. AI is ultimately a statistical mirror. It learns directly from the data we generate. So if artificial intelligence learns exclusively from a deeply flawed humanity, can we ever truly teach a machine to be more virtuous than we are? Thank you for joining me for this explainer. Until next time, keep questioning the code and keep learning.
I edit all my faceless AI video using ASUS TUF gaming laptop. For voiceover, I use a FIFINE USB mic because the audio quality sounds professional. And I use a pen tablet to explain concepts smoothly in my videos and online classes. If you want to buy these products, the link is there in my description. Thank you.